Good morning, wherever you are throughout the universe. I hope you're having a glorious day. Anyway, today's a very important discussion I'm going to have, and I'm wearing my St. Francis College hat, my alumni hat from the University of New England that I graduated, I don't know how many years ago, a lot. But anyways, today I want to discuss how to read. Kind of a simple thing, reading, isn't it? Everybody reads. You've learned how to read your whole life. But there are actually ways to read for enjoyment. Say, for example, your favorite book, your favorite novel, etc. That's one way. That way you just sit down or lay down or go in the sun and you read. And sometimes people binge read. They read like 50 pages, 100 pages because they're so engrossed in the story that's being told. But the type of reading I want to talk about today has nothing to do with reading for pleasure, although all reading should really be for pleasure, but it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with reading an academic book, more specifically a technical book, okay? A book that has a lot of facts and figures and definitions and stuff that just drives you out of your mind. So this is what I want to talk about. The first thing that you should do, if you're a student, whether you're a high school student, a college student, a graduate student, a law student, a medical student, is you need to get a fresh book, a notebook, and you need to put down at the name of this book should be called Things I Learned Today. Now, your job as a student, and I don't care what level you're at, is to learn 5 things a day. Learn 5 things a day, 5 new things a day. Not review 5 things a day, learn 5 things a day. And as you come across a reading, when you come across a reading and there's a definition or a word down there that you know, you're not too sure about, I have a big hint for you. Look it up. Now, if you're in high school, you need to have a dictionary. If you're in law school, a Black's Law dictionary, or if you're in medical school, a medical dictionary. The point is you write it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Learn 5 things a day. If you learn 5 things a day, that's a good day. You haven't wasted the day. On the other side of the story, when you lay down at night and you try to recall the 5 things that you learn, if you can't come up with 5 things that you've learned, guess what? It hasn't been a very good learning day for you, okay? And the next morning when you get up, before you continue your learning, so to speak, you need to review those 5 things that you learned from the previous day. Stop and think about it. If you can learn 5 things a day times 30 days a month, that's 150 things, so to speak, that you're learning every month. How many months are there? 12. How much is 12 times, what is it I just said? 150. That's well over 1,000 things that you would learn every year. So to me, it makes a lot of sense. Just learn 5 things a day. Now, the most important component is reading, all right? Now, let me tell you how you're probably reading a textbook right now, like a boring textbook, no matter what subject it is. You look it up, you go, oh my God, I can't stand this book, right? I don't understand it, it's boring, etc. I'm confused about it. Everybody goes through those things. And when you start reading that book, you really give it a good attempt. So you're paying attention and actually you're learning something for a few minutes. Boom. I'm going to put a little line over here. But what happens is after 15 or 10 or 15 minutes, your learning starts to go down. When you start, that's a learning point. But as the 15 minutes or 20 minutes or half an hour progress, you begin to have an intellectual conversation with yourself. You start saying, oh, this is boring. I have to go to the bathroom. I'm hungry. I have to make that text message. You're thinking about everything else except what you're reading, okay? It's normal. Everybody does this. It's in our head. And it isn't until you're just about ready to stop reading where you're refocused and you're paying attention. So really, you have 2 learning points. When you start and when you finish. And then in the middle, you're Stuff's it's kind of like pouring a glass of water into a glass and it's full. It's just going in. You're marking time, but it's really not helping you. All right, so try this technique. This technique does work. I've used it for many years with my students. They swear by it. My law office, my lawyers used it, especially for technical stuff. And I'm going to tell you how to do it. It's really simple. Break up your reading. Now, I'm talking about for a technical book now. No more in aggregate for 90 minutes. That's 1.5 hours. However, you're not going to read straight through for 90 minutes. You'll only learn 2 things when you start and when you stop, as I said to you. Break up your reading into 10-minute segments. Read for 10 minutes. Read for 10 minutes, okay? And in those 10 minutes, you need to focus like a laser beam. Focus like a laser beam. If there's a concept that you don't understand, mull it over in your mind. If there's a definition that you're a little fuzzy on, write it down. There's one of the 5 things that you've learned that day. If they give you an example, that's even greater. Don't leave that page until you understand that example. After 10 minutes, stop reading. So 10 minutes. Boom, you've started and you stopped, and you have 2 learning points in there. Now, you have to get that information from the conscious part of your brain to the unconscious part of your brain. So take a quick 5-minute break. 5-minute break. Go to the bathroom, have a sandwich, make that text, air it out. And what's happening with you intellectually is that's going from the subconscious part of your brain to the unconscious part of your brain. And now you've got a little foundation that you're beginning to build there, okay? After 5 minutes, do it again. So what does this mean? This means that you're going to learn at the beginning, and you're going to learn when you stop 10 minutes later, okay? 10 minutes, you focus like a laser beam. That's the key to reading. If you do that for 90 minutes, what this means is this, is that you would have not 2 learning cycles in your reading, but rather 12, because you're starting and stopping 6 different times. 6 times 2 is 12, and you're going to learn 12 things. I could say this with no doubt in my mind. Your retention rate will be triple what it is right now, and that's where you're going to grab your 5 things that you're going to learn a day. This is the best way to learn. It's really good in the study of law, in the study of medicine, and all your technical sciences. What does 10 minutes work out to in a technical book? No more than 2 or 3 pages. Now, you can't focus for 2 or 3 pages? Come on, of course you could. So that's the secret of learning how to read. That's how you read. Now, I'm not talking about reading for pleasure. I'm talking about technical books. Here's what I say to you. Try it. Why not? You got to pick up your 5 things every day, and all of a sudden, things are going to build up intellectually for you, and you're going to begin to conquer that subject that you're having a hard time with. Okay, that's my lesson for today. Peace.